Okay, Hunter Biden cocaine. Let's talk about this. Hunter Biden's cocaine was found at the White House. And I know some people are like, well, how do you know it's Hunter Biden's cocaine? Let me tell you how I know. Hunter Biden lives at the White House. Hunter Biden is a cocaine addict. A baggie of cocaine was found at the White House, and the White House is now pretending that they have no way of telling who brought this cocaine into the White House. Well, let me save us all millions of taxpayer dollars in this search. It's obviously Hunter Biden's. And here's the real kicker. Even the Democrats know this. And the mainstream media knows this as well. Every single person in this country knows that this is Hunter Biden's cocaine that was found in the White House. Every single one. And as if we need any further proof, let me just show you what Hunter Biden looks like. And you tell me whether you think this is a sober man. We're gonna show that video in just a second. But first, I think we're all convinced that it's Hunter Biden's cocaine. I bet even Joe Biden and Dr. Jill Biden, they know it's Hunter Biden's cocaine. This is how Hunter Biden was behaving on July 4th. And you tell me if this is a sober person or whether this demonstration by Hunter Biden, this behavior matches the definition of tweaking out. If we could show this video. You tell me exactly what's happening here. Look at Hunter Biden right now. He's agitated, he's sweating, he's sniffing, he can't stand still. Like if there's a dictionary definition in video form of tweaking out, that's Hunter Biden. That's not a sober person. That's not a well man. That's a man addicted to crack. He's a crackhead, of course. It's just, we call it a cocaine addict if it's an upper middle class or high class, I guess, wealthy person. But the general term for this is he's just a crackhead here. But here's the thing. The White House is pretending like they don't know where this baggie of cocaine came from. They've changed their story. First it was near a visitor lounge, and then it was near the Situation Room near the White House. This is not a highly trafficked area in the sense that, like, sure, there are a lot of people that go through it, but it's a very highly protected area. The Secret Service knows exactly who is in every part of that area of the White House at all times. They also have cameras that track where or who came by this point. There's no way that the Secret Service couldn't figure this out if they wanted to. And yet, the Secret Service says the investigation into who is responsible for this baggie of cocaine will conclude next week. But they warn us now not to have any expectations because they say they may not be able to determine who is responsible here. First of all, I just call BS on that. They obviously, if they wanted to know who was responsible for this cocaine, they would just find Hunter. They could absolutely figure this out. This is the most secure place in the entire world. The Situation Room of the White House. This couldn't be a more highly secured area. They know everything that happens in that space. Everything. And if someone brings illicit drugs into the White House, you bet that they know who did it. You bet that they know who did it. But of course, this is funny. The Washington Post, by the way, wrote a piece about this Secret Service investigation. And first of all, they didn't put in their headline that it's cocaine because they don't want you to make the obvious correlation between Hunter and cocaine. They called it, the Secret Service is investigating a suspicious substance. Yes, Washington Post, cocaine is very suspicious indeed. And they didn't in this entire article mention that Hunter Biden lives in the White House. Great reporting. Super reporting. It's not cocaine, it's just a suspicious substance. And don't worry about that crack addict that crackhead that lives at the White House. Here's why the White House is acting the way that they're acting. They're not just doing this to try to avoid a PR headache. It would be kind of a PR headache if Hunter Biden and his cocaine were like discovered by the public in the White House. It would not be pleasant for the White House to have to deal with that because the other side, meaning Republicans, would obviously mock and ridicule and use this as an attack on Joe Biden because all's fair in politics. But that's not why the White House is doing what they're doing. The reason that they're pretending that they won't be able to solve this is because the repercussions for Hunter Biden are way beyond just a PR headache for the White House. The repercussions, remember, Hunter Biden was under investigation by the Department of Justice. He pled guilty to tax fraud or tax evasion and a firearm crime. But the reason that he's not in prison for the firearm crime is because he agreed to a diversionary program. A diversionary program is like some kind of ineffective way of excusing normally rich people from having to go to prison under the guise of trying to help Black people or poor people in our nation not go to prison. It's the most ridiculous thing that the left has invented. These diversionary programs do not lower the rate of recidivism, so there's no excuse for them. But part of this diversionary program, this deal that Hunter cut, was that he would be on probation for 2 years, or I mean, I don't even know if it's called probation, but part of this diversionary program means he has to be sober for 2 years. He can't have any drug infractions. He can't even test positive for any of these drugs. Otherwise, he will be kicked out of this diversionary program. And if he's kicked out, then he faces prison time for the crimes that he committed. So the repercussions of the White House admitting that this is Hunter's, which it obviously is Hunter's, would mean prison time for the president's son. Do you think there is any way in this world that Joe Biden, who counts on Hunter, he relies on Hunter for income, would ever allow his crackhead son to be put in prison? There's not a chance in this world. Not a chance in this world would he ever let that happen. He'd be more likely to pardon this ne'er-do-well than he would be ever to allow this to happen. Ever allow this to happen. It's also hilarious, by the way, that they accuse President Trump of threatening and endangering national security because of documents, allegedly classified documents, that Trump was storing in his post-presidential office, which is secured by the Secret Service, in his residence, which is also secured by the Secret Service. Meanwhile, there's a literal crackhead leaving baggies of cocaine around the White House and at the same time selling access to foreign countries to his father. And they're just like, oh, Hunter. Oh, Hunter. But Trump is the one endangering national security here. Trump is the one. There are actually bookies in Las Vegas who have odds on who's responsible for the baggie of cocaine. And guess who is the front runner far and away? That's right, Hunter. Of course it's Hunter. Of course it's Hunter. The baggie of cocaine belongs to Hunter. We all know this. Look at this meme that I found. This is the first one, element 8A. This cracked me up. Not saying it's mine, but this is a picture of Hunter Biden. But can I have that Coke back? Exactly. That's exactly it. And then the next one, Sherlock Hunter and the case of the mysterious white powder. You know, actually what would make this one even funnier is if they changed mysterious white powder into the Washington Post's suspicious substance. In the case of the suspicious substance. The case of the suspicious substance. There are 2 tiers of justice in our country. When we're told, and I tweeted about this yesterday or the day before, and there were people on the replies of my tweet that were telling me not to assume that it's Hunter. Okay, who else do you think it might be? Who else? Who do you think is up there smoking crack? Not the crackhead who's videotaped himself recently smoking crack. Just what, like Biden himself? Right. There's 2 tiers of justice here because think about how many people are thrown in prison for this, are incarcerated for this crime. And yet if you're rich enough, if you're connected to someone powerful enough, then you just get off. Hi guys, it's Liz Wheeler. Don't forget to watch my show, The Liz Wheeler Show, every night at 7 p.m. on the First TV. You can download the free First TV app, or you can visit thefirsttv.com/Liz and start watching today.